Number 2, Ashnal Samar.
Nice pronunciation. I couldn't do it. But he is a 9th grader, believe it or not, and he has a card game called Elementio, if I'm pronouncing that right. And it's really an educational card game that deals with chemistry, but it makes it fun. He sort of realized, and the great thing about this is he tested it out at his school, and so I think something like 82% of kids love this. They thought it was a great way to learn, better than any other games out there.
I'm going to get that.
Yeah, it's great. And
my daughter could use it
now, yeah.
All right, number 1,
roll, please.
Born in Bangalore, India, Suhas Gopinath.
Now, again, he started a website at age 12 in India, started a company still around called Globals, which is, when he was 14, it's a web company, another example of this trend. Here's the interesting distinction. He was named a young global leader by the World Economic Forum. He's now in his early 20s, but quite a distinction, quite a young man, and we're seeing just more and more of this, and as someone who covers entrepreneurs, it's great.
Is he a billionaire yet?
Not yet.
Probably closing in on it. All right, well, our next guest has been running her own business since the age of 9. She is the youngest person featured in Inc. magazine's 30 Under 30, a list of America's coolest young entrepreneurs. And this morning, here she is at NASDAQ. She presided over the opening bell, along with Rod Kurtz, by the way, who was there as well. We now welcome Leanna Archer to Scoreboard. Leanna, great to see you. Thank you for coming in. And here, by the way, are your products. These are hair products primarily, right? Yeah. How did you get into this business?
Well, the first product, which was a hairdressing, was a recipe passed down by my great-grandmother.
Wow.
And my parents used this in my hair since I was 3 years old, and it was kind of like a family tradition.
But what made you, I mean, we all have things that are passed on from our grandparents and uncles, and food or whatever, food recipes. What made you think you could actually sell it?
People would come up to me, like anywhere I'd be, and they'd just say, "What do you use in your hair? Your hair looks nice."
Your hair does look beautiful, by the way, and that's as a result of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it includes, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but not all of this is for smooth hair. Some of it is for hair color and that sort of thing, or at least more moisture in your hair?
Yeah.
Yeah? And how did you go about actually turning it into stuff that has labels on it, put it in containers? I mean, you must have had money to start up with, right?
I started with no money at all. And what I did was I went behind my parents' back after they denied me.
Your parents are here, by the way, so be careful. They're right in the studio.
And the whole nation is watching.
Go ahead.
And I took whatever was left in the mixture that my great-grandmother made and put it in my little brother's Gerber jars and gave them out for free in school.
And that sort of started, people said, gee, can I buy this stuff?
That's when we started getting checks in the mail saying, can you send me $20 worth? And my parents had no idea what they were talking about. Unbelievable.
So how big is the operation now? I mean, are you in stores or you still sell out of your home?
I sell mostly over the internet. And hopefully soon I'll be able to open a store called Leanna's. And
now, are you going to have to, in order to do something like that, you often need a lot more cash, capital. Do you have enough, or are you going to have to go out to a bank and borrow some money, or what?
I might need a loan, but not a big one. And hopefully I'll be able to.
And I don't know if you heard, there's a guy named Dave Ramsey who works for Fox Business, and he is very much against going to banks and taking out loans. In fact, he's grown a business of almost 200 people just on the basis of savings and so forth. So you may do better off if you just borrow the money, right?
Sure.
I mean, from friends rather than going to a bank.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll take his advice?
I think I am going to take his advice.
Yeah. Now, all of these products that you have amount to how much revenue a year? Have you put it all together? Do you have the records? Because that's a big part of keeping business.
Well, last year I grossed over my finances, and I managed to gain $100,000 in profit.
Whoa, $100,000!
Not bad, huh?
What do you do with the money?
Half of it goes towards my trust fund for college.
Okay, all right, that's a good thing for it.
The rest goes to restock products and equipment.
So 50% of the money you make goes right back into the products. Now, I want to bring Rod back in this. How similar is that to a lot of startups? Because you deal with hundreds of startups during the year.
Absolutely. And I think, in listening to Leanna's story and getting to know her over the course of this project, we're seeing entrepreneurs younger and younger doing all the right things, doing things, frankly, you'd learn at Wharton or Harvard. You know, think about what she's talking about, giving out the Gerber baby jars with the sample. I mean, she's generating buzz, grassroots marketing. I mean, they're doing things instinctually that, you know, you couldn't teach them this.
And luckily, again, as Ramsey would say, not going out immediately to get a loan. Don't get yourself in debt right away. You put 50% of your revenue back into the company.
And growing slowly, you know, but the fact is that you're growing. I think another thing, too, is she, having gotten to know her family a little bit today, you know, having the support of your family for no matter how old you are as an entrepreneur is essential. And whether it comes to getting some funding from friends and family, which you've been talking about earlier in the show, or just that support, helping with the labels, whatever it may be, you know, you need to enlist your own sort of advisory board. And sometimes it's under your own roof.
Now, Leanna, as a father of a 16-year-old, I have to ask, does this take away from your studies? Are you still keeping up with your schoolwork?
School comes first for me. For the past couple of years, I managed to keep an organized schedule where I could manage the business while keeping school on top.
Does the business management help in managing your schoolwork as well? Have you learned things from doing business that help you at school?
It did help me with a project in stocks last year, and I learned how stocks work and how to invest in them the correct way.
So your grades are okay, bottom line. Grades are okay. That's good.
And might I just add, we brought the NASDAQ some luck today when we rang the bell.
Yeah.
So I give Leanna all the credit.
I mean, you saw it was down and then it ended way up. So you have the magic touch in terms of bringing luck to the NASDAQ. Bottom line, is this what you want to stay in for the rest of your life, or because it's pretty early on?
I was planning on keeping the business running, and I'm going to college for law school as well.
Oh, you're going to be a lawyer?
Yeah.
All right, well, that could come in handy,
Law degree
too.
is always handy in business.
Yeah, it is indeed. Well, congratulations. It's wonderful to have you here. It's an honor to have you here, Leanna. Thank you very much. Rod, we'll see more of you coming up in a buy, sell, or hold. And your last chance to vote. What do you think of Joe the Plumber? Is he a buy, a sell, or a hold? 369-249. Your answers coming up right after.